interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
This is not a drill. This is an emergency.
We knew the world would not be the same. Few people laughed. Few people cried. Most people were silent.
I'm Tommy Salmons. This is Year Zero.
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Okay, so I'm here. She's already giggling. She's nervous. I'm here with my wife, actually, Beatrix Berger. Say hi.
Hi.
All right, so I invited her onto the podcast because I think that she has a really interesting perspective growing up in South Africa during apartheid and having apartheid ended in 1994 when she was 13 years old.
14.
You were 14, okay. I always say 13 because I always consider you younger than me, and I was 14 in 94.
So was I.
You were ending apartheid, and I was getting expelled. So
I wouldn't say I ended.
okay, so we're gonna just talk about her experience a little bit, growing up in that era and living through an actual international historic event, and what she thought of it, what she thinks of it now, and how it's changed her perspective in different ways. So I'd like to give her the opportunity to tell you a little bit about what it was like as a child in South Africa during the apartheid era.
Are you asking me this question?
Yeah, I want you to kind of give my background.
So yeah, like I was telling Tommy earlier, I didn't really know anything better than what was happening. I knew we had apartheid, but I didn't realize what it meant because we always had a maid in our house, and she was like a second mom to me. She was the sweetest, Maria, love her. And we had a son in our garden, and my dad worked with black people, so I was like, I don't know where all this apartheid's coming from because I see black people everywhere, everywhere. I don't get it. So I really just didn't understand. I was just like, I have Maria, love her like a mother. I would come home from school, we would come from school, she would make us lunch, she would be there every single day, she was there every single day. We loved her like a mother, she looked after us, she helped raise us. And we had Shorty, and we didn't have black people in our school, but I didn't think anything of it either because they didn't live in our area. It made no sense for them to be in our school. So I was like, this seems normal to me, I just didn't have an idea of really what it meant, apartheid, what it meant. And with Maria, when it was time to replace her cleaning stuff for her house, she lived in a shack. Let's call it what it is. It was a shack in the location. And when they would bring home, if they worked for white people and they would come home with their cleaning products, your Omo, your washing stuff, they would literally make the black people, when you get off the train, would make the other black people eat it. They would torture them. So my mom would never, when she bought Maria's cleaning stuff for her house, for her shack, my mom would never let Maria take the train home. My mom would always take her, drop her off at the shack. My dad didn't like that because it was dark by that time. My mom worked until 5. And then she'll come home, get all Maria's stuff together, and then she'll drive her to a shack and she'll drop her off at the house because my mom didn't want anything to happen to Maria. We all loved her. Even after we moved from Clarksdorp, I was living in Clarksdorp at the time, very small town, so there was nothing going on there. But even after we moved to Pretoria, we would go visit my dad. We would go see Maria, every single time. We'll drive to the location and go see Maria. And she had since built, her son had since built her home, so she didn't live in a shack anymore, so that was nice. But yeah, I didn't know. I didn't really realize really what was going on. I just knew we had apartheid, but
Yeah, well, when you're growing up, like everything that's happening around you is just kind of like the normal. That's just what you know. You don't know that it can be any different.
yeah.
So, and like you said earlier, you didn't have the control to change it. This was not on you. It was not your choice. But when you would see the news, would you see like the stories about the bombings or the necklacings and things of that nature? Did you know that was going on when you were growing up?
I did actually.
How did that affect your view of like your country and like what was happening within your country?
I didn't know. I didn't understand why, because it was black people doing it to other black people. So again, I was like, we are supposed to be separated, and it's supposed to be the evil black people and the good white people. But the black people are like burning each other with like tires. It's not. It didn't make sense. Nothing of it made sense at all. I just didn't understand it. Like if apartheid is, and I'm not saying it's the good white people and the bad black people, and we did it for a reason. What I'm saying is, if it was black against white, why am I seeing black against black all the time? I'm not seeing any white against black.
Yeah. Well, and so you're growing up in an environment to where like you're basically being taught, like whether like you believe that today or not, you were at least structurally the society was structured and engineered in such a way that white people were good, the black people were bad, right? And so like you had to separate the two groups from each other.
Not really. Again, no, because I had like my Maria, and she looked after me. She raised me like I was one of her daughters. Like she was a mom to me. So I never had that bad and good against each other. I never had it. I never thought anything bad about any black people because I knew Maria.
Right.
I had Maria and I had Shorty, and I just didn't understand where the evil would come from or the bad is coming from.
So you were almost insulated from the entire like situation. When you
and I mean, I don't know the numbers. I don't know how accurate this is, but during apartheid, they were like apartheid. My bad. They were like, I think I read, and I stand corrected, 17 murders a year, and I mean that was 17 murders a year. So it wasn't like there was violence all around you all the time. It was 17 murders a year, or something like that. Something like really low, very low. So.
Well, statistics can be bent and changed.
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm saying. I don't know how accurate it is, but I never saw any violence black against white. I never saw it. I grew up in a small town anyway, so.
Right, and you can also think that if it's a majority or not majority, but the people in power maybe only, especially whenever everything was cut down the lines of race. So they may have only been measuring the violence within their communities and not measuring the violence in other communities. So yeah, it's really hard to understand because from the get-go, what they were doing was wrong and ill to God for. So you're looking at it and you're saying, well, this is what we were told. These are the stats we were giving. You know, it could all be complete fabrication on their part. So I want to kind of like glance over that, but when you
don't you glance anything I say. Go on.
When you now you told me earlier that like when apartheid ended, and that was in 94. All right, you're 14 years old. 13 in my mind, because I like them young folks.
No, I was kind of like at some point 13 in 94. But
so was I. Up until August of 94, I was 13. So, okay. No, I was 14 until August of 94, and then I turned 15.
Yes.
That's what it was.
Yes.
Okay. That's why I'm getting all fucked up.
Yes.
Okay. Like, this matters at all to anybody that's listening to this whatsoever. So, you had told me that when apartheid ended, you ended up getting your first black student in the school. What was that like?
Oh, it was very exciting. Like everyone was just so excited. Everyone just wanted to be his friend and hang out with him. He was like the coolest thing that's ever happened in our school. Like having our first black kid. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Like everyone just wanted to be his friend. He had no issues. That kid walked into that school and everyone was just on him. Like just wanted to hang out with him, wanted to be his friend. Like it was very cool.
And did it feel like something had changed?
Yeah, it felt super cool. That's what I'm saying.
No, but I mean, like in your purview, you didn't really understand prior to. You knew you lived under apartheid, but you didn't really understand what it was. Whenever this happened, did it really feel like oh wait, something's changing here?
Yeah.
Or was that later on that you like?
No,
discovered?
it was like, wow, we've got a black kid. It's now more black kids will come, and we will all just be together, and it's gonna just be great forever now.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it felt really great. Like
So-
it was super cool.
Okay, so at this point, I want to stop for a second. I want to explain to the audience something that you and I were talking about, and we've talked about several times before. People have this like weird view of apartheid. They think it is distinct to South Africa. What makes apartheid distinct, and what makes it similar to other historic events?
What do you mean?
Okay, here's what I was getting at. I was trying to like fish you
I
into
see what
something.
you're saying. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is the exact same thing as, what do you guys call it? Segregation. It's the exact same thing.
Right. It's just a
Literally,
different word.
It's just a different word, and we obviously did.
And why is it a different word?
Because it's Afrikaans.
It's a different fucking language.
Yeah, it's a different fucking language. It's Afrikaans, and it's pronounced apartheid, by the way, not apartheid, but whatever.
Sorry.
No, I'm talking to everyone.
Blasphemy.
They need to say it right. It's apartheid, not apartheid. Anyway, what was the question again? Oh yeah, it's like segregation. Like exactly, the blacks and the whites were separated. They had their own little taps. I don't even know if we had our own taps, but I know like, and we didn't even want that.
They had bottled water before it was cool.
No, but I always see like the pictures with segregation would have like it says colored,
Blacks only.
colored only,
Yeah,
or
right.
whatever. I don't
Yeah.
remember any of those kind of things, but I'm pretty sure we had that. But it's the same. It's the same. The exact same thing.
Who was sitting in
Whites-
the back of the bus? That's what everybody wants to know.
I didn't even think we had buses, man. Buses came later. Yeah, the blacks took the train to the location. We don't have buses and shit like that. But in any event, yeah, it's the exact same thing. They were separated from the white people, black people, Indian people, colored people. We have colored people. Excuse me. In South Africa, that's mixed race. When a black and a white person had sex and the baby came out, it was colored.
Right.
Yeah, and then we had Indian, Muslim, obviously, and then the white people. But everyone that was not white was separated.
So it applied to everybody, not just black people. It applied to any other race. Okay, so y'all, I mean, it's basically like a one drop rule, and we were talking about this yesterday, which I think is like, I heard Dave Smith bring this up on I think it was the last podcast I listened to of his. But okay, so here in America, the way it works socially, whether it's right or not, but socially, okay, if a white woman gets with a black man and they have a baby, that baby is considered black.
Okay.
Well, in South Africa, it's considered
It's
color.
colored, yeah.
See,
it's like an
all right,
entire
in the
nation,
60s
or
when
race,
there was apartheid in America, they were considered mulatto. All right, that's what they called them, mulatto.
Okay.
All right, so it was like just this mix, baby, right? All right, but like when it comes to, let's say, 6 generations down, right, and that the baby of the mixed couple only marries a white woman, right, and then that baby comes out, marries another white woman, and so on down the line, all white people from then on, like, is it still considered a mixed race baby? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, in America today, in modern times, you're still black.
Oh,
You can be 6 generations down.
yeah.
I mean, 6 generations from the nearest black person in your family, you're considered black. That is specifically from the Nazis' playbook. They had the one drop rule. If they could trace one drop of DNA
Yeah.
back to a Jew, you were toast. You were done for. They considered you a Jew
Yeah.
if you had one drop of blood, Jewish blood. And so America has adopted that in such a way.
Oh.
Okay? And I'm wondering if it was the same in South Africa. If you like got generations down the road, did they continuously segregate those people? Because they were now they were basically raised in a separate culture.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Were there how were the cultural differences? Like what was that from the pristine elite white who were scrubbed to purity by God and his angels and those tainted coloreds? Like what was the cultural differences? Did you notice a big cultural difference, especially after the end of apartheid when y'all started intermingling?
Yeah, I mean, the black culture is like really interesting. I mean, the way they do things, what they believe, how they like go about their business, like it's extremely interesting, and I never knew any of it until apartheid ended. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. Like when I like hear an African song and the Zulus are like dancing and stuff, I cry to this day because it's just so beautiful. It's beautiful, and I never knew any of it because I wasn't exposed to it until after apartheid.
Right. And we were talking earlier about the movie Invictus and about living through that experience of the Rugby World Cup. What? Oh, don't cry. How did that register with you at that age? Because by this time Mandela had become president,
Yeah,
right? Okay, so there were reactions to
and
that.
Maria actually started looking like Nelson Mandela when she grew old. She really looked like him.
All right, so let's touch on that first. All right, so
Maria looking like Nelson Mandela. No, that's basically all there is to that story.
that's the whole story. All right, when Nelson Mandela was elected, like what was happening around you?
Okay, well, I don't really know what was happening around me. I went to school. I was pretty much oblivious to anything that was going on around me. I was hanging out with my school friends, smoking cigarettes at the neighbor's house. I didn't really know about anything like that. But I know when we were allowed to play in the World Cup, the rugby, and we won, and we previously had all these I don't know what the word is. I want to say staunch, but that might not be the right word. But all these white presidents with their little suits and their ties and acting all serious and just formal and just ugh. And then we win the World Cup and the entire country was rallying behind the Springbokker. It was just the biggest thing that's basically happened almost in years, except for Mandela becoming president. But it was something that the entire country was behind.
But Mandela made this happen, right?
Yeah.
Was it the effects of his policies that created this situation?
Yeah.
Or was it the lifting of the sanctions because he became president?
I think it was the lifting of the sanctions.
It was the lifting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I had understood it, and maybe it's been a long time since I saw the movie.
I've never seen it because I cried too much.
It was good. It was a good movie. Morgan Freeman makes a hell of a Nelson Mandela.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. that dude can do anything.
Yeah.
So whatever. But no, it was a good movie. It was what Matt Damon. And not Nelson Mandela, but Morgan Freeman. But every time I think of Nelson Mandela, I see Morgan Freeman in my head.
Oh, how dare you!
Well, every time I think of Donald Trump, I think of a sign language interpreter that doesn't know sign language. So
that's Obama. Stupid. Oh.
Okay. Thanks for catching up. So all right. I had understood it that Nelson Mandela had played a critical role.
Yeah, he did. So I'm saying maybe I'm not entirely sure how it came about, but I'm pretty sure he had a lot to do with it personally.
Well, what I was going to say.
Automatically.
What I was going to say is, I think what I'm misinterpreting is that he took advantage of the situation he was given because he was very involved in the training of the team in helping put the team.
Was he?
Yeah, he was well, not necessarily the training, but bringing
He's
but bringing the relations together.
Yeah,
that's what
yeah.
I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, so he was like
Yes.
kind of
Yes.
And so I think maybe
That's what I'm
just
saying. Like, I know for a fact they had a lot to do with it. Personally, it's not something that automatically happened just because apartheid went away.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the sanctions were lifted,
Yeah.
but he did play a role.
Yeah.
Ultimately,
Yeah.
especially in bringing in the cohesive nature of the team together, which I thought was a really cool depiction through the movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I didn't see the movie, so I don't
you
know.
have.
But yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm
But-
speaking clearly off of a based
Hollywood
on a true
movie.
story fucking narrative here.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, like that was like something that really brought the country together for the first time after apartheid ended and Mandela became president, because it was kind of like, oh shit, now we don't have a white president, now we have a black one, and blacks are like, yay, let's do this, and the whites are like, oh, fuck this, and but with the World Cup, colored, Indian, black, white, everyone was rooting for the Springboks, everyone, and when they won, oh my god, Mandela came out on that field and he was like dancing and his awesome shirt, and it was like, oh my god, this is what it's supposed to be like. We're all supposed to be together and all supposed to live in this country together, and this is what we've been missing, because I didn't know what I was missing.
Right.
I didn't know anything else but what I knew. And when that happened, it was like, this is the way it's supposed to be, and it's going to be like this forever. This is great.
Right.
It was very moving, obviously.
And so like you had this like extreme promise like that
Yeah.
is opened up
Yeah.
with all this. This was like a moment for the country to finally unite for good, like everyone, like you said. And so when Nelson Mandela stepped down,
Yo.
hi Pinky. I feature him on the podcast all the time. They're used to me talking to Pinky. When Nelson Mandela stepped down, all right, and he stepped down for health reasons?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, I was getting so old.
Yeah, he was old. He was in his 80s, wasn't
Yeah. Hi.
he? When he stepped down, like, was there any sense of it was going to be a struggle to hold the country together?
Oh, yeah.
Or okay, so
Yeah.
people didn't have
'Cause-
faith in the people behind Nelson Mandela.
No.
They had faith in
In him.
him because
was, yeah.
his vision was bigger than
Everyone, like, basically, like, and I don't want to use the word worship, respected. Everyone respected the God of that.
Well, not everybody, but that's
The majority.
The majority of the people.
of people, yeah.
Right,
And
yeah.
that was kind of the one thing, and they said once Nelson Mandela dies, because he's the only one that's basically keeping the country at peace at this point. Because they all respected him, they don't want to like mess anything up, because he was like, they call him Ubuntu, I think they called him.
well, wasn't he quasi?
Was he Koza?
I think he was.
But hold
Anyway.
on. But yeah, they said that once Mandela dies, things will change.
Right.
And it didn't change overnight, but it definitely did.
Okay, so let's talk about those changes, because those changes are actually pretty important. And
Yes, there we go. Ubuntu, they called him Ubuntu, if I'm not mistaken. A quality that includes the essential human virtues, compassion and humanity.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
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 He was basically
There's a need for understanding, not vengeance. Ubuntu, not victimization.
he was a better form of Obama.
Oh,
Long before there was an Obama.
yeah.
Like, honestly, like he was what Obama was aspiring to be when Obama was the president, right?
Yeah.
And so when he stepped down, there was probably grief around the nation of like, oh no, like now we got to deal with another president, trying to figure out how we're going to rebound from this, right? Okay. And from that point forward, that was what, 98? Was that, am I right? 98, 99?
Yeah, he wasn't president for too long, I think 4 years, yeah.
4 years? Okay.
I think so.
Yeah. So when he stepped down, like there had been this period of hope and everybody, like this unity. and there had been some changes now. Like in this period, isn't that when the flag changed?
Yeah.
Okay, the flag changed, the national anthem changed, things like that. But it wasn't offensive. Like, was anybody offended by these changes?
The flag, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The flag, yeah, because that represented our struggle against Europe,
England, right?
To gain our independence,
right?
So it's historical. It's
right.
not something you can just be like, oh fuck this thing, and now it's gone.
Right.
It represented all our struggles against other countries to make us independent.
Right.
So yeah, people were very upset about the flag, most definitely. The national anthem, not so much. I love the national anthem now. Really, it's
don't they sing both of them now?
They do, yeah.
Nowadays.
They have the Afrikaans in there. They have the English in there.
Right.
And then they have like African stuff in there. And I can't sing that at all, but I always cry when they do. So
yeah.
I cry all the time. So.
You do, except when it's appropriate.
Yeah, I don't cry for the right things.
Okay, so all right. So there was a little strain during his presidency.
Oh, yeah.
Then.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just all smooth sailing.
No.
But for the most part, people like respected him and said,
Yeah.
okay, well, I think he has the best interest at heart.
And
right?
I mean, like I said earlier, like we had Maria, we loved her like a mother. My mom loved her. She couldn't love her more. My dad worked with black people in the mines. There was never any.
Yeah, your dad worked in the
animosity.
mines for how long?
Forever.
I mean, he worked for Ramaphosa.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cyril Ramaphosa.
Yeah. Which is the president now.
Yeah. So, what was the question? Where was I going with this?
What we're talking about?
The strain.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was never like really animosity that I could see or that I could see from my parents, like, oh, these black people, whatever. Never. But there obviously were people that was not happy with having a black president, obviously, because there's racism. There is racism, we're not going to lie about that. So a lot of people weren't happy. It wasn't smooth and lovely and wonderful and magical, but it wasn't violent.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, but your parents, what did they think about the shift,
loved it.
the adjustment?
They loved it.
They didn't mind. They were just like, oh, okay. Yeah. It's just one thing after another. Like, things change. Life is what it is. Okay.
We have to move forward in life.
And I know your parents aren't racist. I met them both,
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, what did they think during the whole transition period? Were they on the fence at any time, or were they?
I know there was like some problems with Mandela because he did bomb like stuff. It's not like
that. Yeah, I mean,
it's not like he was just this magical elf that came.
Right,
from
he was
the
actually
heavens
pardoned from prison. Prior to becoming president.
Yeah. So there was some issues with Nelson Mandela. People always want to point out, not always, but sometimes want to point out that he was a violent person. He did bomb stuff. But I mean, he was trying to freeze people. I'm not saying it's right, but kind of like, what the hell are you gonna do? You're not just listening to me, so I'm gonna have to do something extreme, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I mean, and
but yeah, there was
the
some
history
issues.
of humans, of people, is filled with violent revolution all over the place, right? And though I disagree, with, and I've watched documentaries on the ANC and how they came to power and what they were doing. They were training with the Vietnamese and the Soviets in northern Africa, and then coming back with these military style tactics, and they were using them in the townships in order to create what they were trying to do is they were trying to create unrest in the townships to radicalize the townships against the government. Okay, so this is a major flaw, and somehow they got it to work, which I still don't quite get. But this is the exact same thing that the United States tries to do with sanctions. So they'll put these strangling sanctions on a country, and they'll be starving the people. All right, and what their goal is to make the people of the country so uncomfortable that they turn against the government. And so that's basically what the ANC did. Is they made it so uncomfortable for the majority population. All right, so it actually 70% of the nation is actually black, right? So it was the majority population. And they made it so uncomfortable for the majority population that they turned against the the minority population
Yeah.
who was in control.
Yeah.
And so that's when Mandela was arrested. I think he was arrested on 3 or 4 terrorist bombings or something like that. He was in prison for 23 years?
27.
27 years. And then he was released and he was pardoned. And then it was probably like 2 years after that he became president. It wasn't long. It was a fairly
I'm
short.
gonna have to Google that because I'm not good with dates.
Yeah, I think he was pardoned in the early 90s, like 91.
Yeah.
And then he was president by 94.
Yeah.
Something like that. It was somewhere around that.
Oh,
So-
it was F.W. de Klerk released him in 1990.
90. Okay.
Yeah, and he
All
was
right.
in prison for 27 years.
Yeah, okay. So I knew it's kind of a tight, and I know there were people that because of his background were like, what the hell are we doing here? Like, you're putting a terrorist in charge of the nation.
Yeah, someone was in jail for almost 30 years. You're making a president of a country.
Yeah,
Criminal,
exactly.
basically.
Right. And then, but then after the World Cup, people started kind of rallying around him a little bit more. They were at least sympathetic to him.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So when you were, and by this time, that was in 94 that happened. So we're talking like he stepped down in 98ish, let's say. And so by this time you're 18 years old. You're about to go on your adventures, but that's another podcast if I can talk her into it. But so what? How are you starting to view what's happening and see what's going on? Like by this time, you understand what apartheid was. When you were growing up in it, you didn't really understand what it was.
because I didn't know. Any
So
difference.
like, how are you viewing your country at this point in time?
Like I viewed when that little black kid came to school. It was
Like,
wonderful.
oh, these motherfuckers are cool.
Yeah, they're cool. They got a great culture. They they're just cool people. They just so I don't really, I'm working with them. I'm friends with them.
Right.
It was just like normal. It was
But
just
when you
another
say,
normal.
well, let's be specific. But when you say they have a great culture, there's actually several cultures, right?
Oh yeah, there's
Like,
11
how many-
official languages.
There's 11 official languages,
Yeah.
but there's over 40 tribes,
Oh
aren't
yeah,
there?
yeah. There's
Yeah.
a lot of tribes.
And so in each one of them operates different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some of them are a little more archaic or barbaric than
Mm-hmm.
others. Like, I mean, you have the bigger tribes like the Zulu,
Mm-hmm.
and then who else? The Quasi,
Koza,
and then who else?
Tswana.
Swana, and then you have smaller tribes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. But those are the main three. And so like most of
I
your
would say I might be not entirely correct about Tswana, but Koza and Zulu definitely. Yeah.
okay. So most of your politically ambitious, most of the culture that you witnessed were from these major cultures, right? Like because only so many people are going to run into these minor cultures. But you were like you thought it was like really cool to experience these other cultures, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Experience their food because me, I love food. So now you like getting to eat all the food that they eat, you know. Because Maria would only eat bread. I never knew she ate anything else but bread.
I forgot about that.
That was actually Linky who only wanted to eat bread. And I'll be like,
forgot about-
Linky, I'm frying an egg. Do you want an egg? No, I want bread. You go with this bread. Come on, man. But Maria also, they weren't very big eaters. And when I would make lunch for Shorty, he would also just have bread. So now I'm getting to get all the food that they're eating. You know, I'm getting to eat like pap and achar and all these things that I
Right.
fucking love.
Right. Yeah, because now you're not only exposed to the tribal cultures, you're now also getting exposed to Muslim culture and Indian culture and
Yep.
all these other cultures. Like some of your best friends, you would have never known had apartheid never ended, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
So like this became important in your life, and as far as your interrelations with other people, right? What?
I'm thinking about Bree in the water park.
Oh, I am too. I was actually wanting to get to that. Tell the story.
So sometimes, like, white people will ask, like, either black people or Indian or whatever, like, what did you, like, think about apartheid? And how did you feel when it ended? And my friend, I mean, she's just the cutest bloody hell thing in the world. She's Indian and she's like 5 foot. So like, she's shorter than me. I'm 5'2". Just a tiny little thing. And she's like, oh, I don't give a fuck about apartheid. When apartheid ended, I got to go to a water park. I don't give a fuck race about that. fuck about the rest. Like, I can go to a water park now. Fuck that.
I'm free.
I'm free. Yeah, that's what you said. I'm free. I can go to a water park now. I don't give a fuck about the rest. Oh, that chick is funny.
And her dad was actually involved with the ANC.
Yeah, he got
Right.
locked up a lot for handing out political like pamphlets and
Right.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so free speech definitely wasn't at the top of y'all's
Oh, I
list.
don't even think it is now. But that just happened.
That's
Did I
all
do
right.
Something?
No, it's fine. It's recording still. That was a little break. We had to get a cigarette, but we are back. So we're at the end of Mandela, and who is the next president? It was
Thabo Mbeki.
Thabo Mbeki.
Thabo Mbeki.
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 Yeah.
Like Mpumalanga.
Yeah. Mbeki.
Those damn, that lack of vowels is going to kill me one of these days. It makes me feel like I'm having like hemorrhaging.
I love saying Pumalanga.
Okay. I love hearing you say Mpumalanga. I hate trying to say it though. All right. So we got,
We've got what?
what's his name?
Thabo Mbeki.
Thabo Mbeki. Okay. Sounds like somebody from the Jungle Book. Thabo and
At
Becky.
least I don't say it like Fawn said Popo. Popo. That's definitely not how you say it. But
It's not how you say it. But okay. So what did he bring to the table? What is this when you started seeing a downturn or
well, last week is a little weird because apparently people didn't like him. And again, I don't really know why they didn't like him. He was basically Mandela's like right hand. You know, they were together all the time. I think he was the what's the president after the
Vice
under
president?
the yeah. He was the vice president. He became president, and he was, I think, for some people a little bit too much like Mbeki. But then they thought he was gonna like just make shit, and then he stepped down. He got fired, or he stepped down, or I don't remember exactly what happened. He wasn't president for very, very long. But people are regretting it now. They're saying, "Well, we should have kept Thabo Mbeki." Yeah, they were like, that would have been a better thing to do than to. Because I think after him, wasn't it Zuma, like directly after? No, there was like this one random guy. I don't remember. And I was in the UK when Thabo Mbeki stepped down. I'm 100% sure of that. Because I was like, oh shit, we got a new president. How did that happen? And then it was just this random guy for a little bit, and then it was, what's his face? Zuma.
yeah. Keep talking. I'm having technical difficulties.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who that random guy was. After Mandela, let's see. I know
So,
it was Thabo.
all right. So were the negative consequences becoming apparent at this time?
Still not really. It really just came in when Zuma came in.
Okay, because this is actually, y'all began to see economic decline. How did that start appearing?
It felt like it was overnight. It felt like it was like literally just boom, and everything was just a clusterfuck. Like it was just boom, and everything was a disaster. We were still getting along, and one day, and then Zuma came into power, and then boom, all of a sudden you can't like cross the street without being called a racist, and there's violence everywhere, and people are like killing each other and being attacked and robbed and murdered, and you're like, what the fuck just happened? Like, what the fuck just happened? Like it felt like it was overnight.
Now, was it like a recession? Is that the form? What was the form it came in? Was there like a depression, or was there a
No.
recession?
I think we had a recession, but I don't know really.
I think there was a global recession
Yeah.
in 2001.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Was there?
did y'all just never recover?
Are you talking about like more like financy type shit?
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out, because y'all went from a first world country to a third world country.
And it was all like the violence and stuff. People started pulling out of investments in South Africa because it was just violence everywhere.
And what was the violence due to?
It was, I don't want to sound like a weirdo, but it was like black against whites, because they were like, we'll make you pay for all those years of apartheid now shit's on. Now it's happening.
Okay, so you had relatively 6 years pretty much of peace.
Yeah, pretty much niceness, yes.
Yeah, and then suddenly...
And then just boom, it felt like it was overnight.
So were there figureheads that popped up during this period of time that maybe you weren't aware of? Like maybe the EFF? Mm-hmm. Were they influential in this? Or who
yeah, because I would like literally, because I would work on a Saturday.
Because obviously it's organized, right?
Yeah. I would work on a Saturday. I used to work in Pretoria in like Pretoria Central on the square. Like my building was like literally by the square, and I always had black friends at work. You know, I had all sorts of friends, and we would work on a Saturday, and you'll hear like them singing songs on the square. I don't understand the language, so I don't think anything of it. And my black friends would come and tell me like, "Yo, just like chill inside today because they singing kill the white man, kill the bird, kill the white man, kill the bird." And I was like, it sounds so nice. Like, are they really saying that? Are you fucking with me? Like, no, that's what they're saying. So just like chill before you go out. Just wait until they go, and then you can go. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So they were becoming more terroristic in their actions, and then Zuma became president, and I know there were things that happened in between, but when he became president, he was singing along with him.
Oh, yeah.
How did that affect the country?
Badly, because now you're getting scared of the black people. Like, I wasn't scared before. Now I'm getting scared.
Yeah, now they have power, and now they're talking about killing me because
it's not about power. It's about now I'm getting scared.
Well, now the people in power are specifically targeting me.
Yeah, saying that kill the boer, kill the farmer. That's what they say, not the white man. My bad.
Yeah.
Kill the boer, kill the farmer.
Right.
Now they're singing.
So they're redundant.
To kill me. Yeah. No, because boer is any white Afrikaans-speaking person, and a farmer is someone who farmed his land.
But doesn't boer come from farmer?
Originally, but now it's any white Afrikaans-speaking person is a boer. I'm a boer. I don't fucking farm. I'm a boer. I grow some rosemary.
I've tried to get you to farm. It doesn't work out.
Well, I can't deal with weeds. So.
I can deal with weed.
No, that
weed. So okay, so you're dealing with the fear of your own government now. All right, so now you're worried about being like you're worried about the government turning against you.
Yeah,
like,
and that's actually like something that I never believed, because they call it die nag van die lang messe. It means the night of long knives is what it translates to. And they all said, as soon as Nelson Mandela dies, because you were sick for very long, shit's gonna get hit the fan. Right. I was like, bullshit. It's people trying to scare the people. You know it is. Right. But it kind of did after he died. That's when.
Well, actually, it was before.
But when he.
I mean, we'll get to his death, because I'm talking about prior to his death. But
things were getting a little bad. But I mean,
And is this when the farm murder started? Like with Zuma, or did they start prior to that?
Oh, with Zuma, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. You didn't hear about it, at least. Well, like if it was happening, it wasn't like.
It wasn't in the news, because they still don't do that really. It's on Facebook that you'll see it. It's not in papers or anything like that.
Well, they do have some news agencies that will cover
it, but it's not.
Okay, and so now you have a group of countrymen that are totally scared of the government, because the government is specifically targeting them based upon their race.
Yeah, your president is saying, kill these motherfuckers. Yeah, it's pretty scary.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking crazy. You know, it's like I told that one guy the other day, like, imagine if Trump were to start doing that. Yeah. Like, that's fucked up. Yeah. Like, it's fucking crazy, you know. And this is exactly the tack that Hitler took, all right? He started targeting specific, you know, races of people. So then the farm murder started, and what did you think when you first started hearing about these farm murders? Like, was it kind of unbelievable?
Yes.
Because the things that are being done to these farmers are straight out of a horror movie. This
A
isn't
horror
something you would
movie.
imagine that people would actually do to other people.
No, it's they don't come into your house, shoot you, and leave. They go in there, they will tie you up, rape the woman in front of the kids and the dad, pour boiling water on them, take irons, like clothes iron, and then burn them with that, like just torture them for hours before they finally kill them. I mean, I can't look at these scenes. I mean, it looks like, oh God, it's just blood everywhere. It's not like they shoot them and it's the end of it, or stab them and that's the end of it. There is so much of blood that entire house because they will torture them for hours before they finally kill them.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Well, and one of the things I've heard that they've started doing, and I don't know if this is something new or if this is something that's been going on for a while, but what they're doing is they're raping the wife,
Yeah.
and then torturing her to death,
Yeah.
forcing the man to watch, and then they rape his kids and they torture his children to death, and then they leave him alive to kill himself.
Well, I don't know about killing himself, but yeah, they sometimes leave them.
Yeah, they leave him like basically like it's like psychological warfare on top of everything. Yeah. So was there any fear in you about these things happening to you?
Yeah, like you couldn't drive anywhere without your car doors being locked. When you would get to a red light, you're driving at night, you get to a red light, you don't stop, you slow down until you go slow. Hopefully by the time you get to the light, it's going to be green and you can just go, because you'll be hijacked at any moment. When you are forced to stop in the middle of the day or at night at a traffic light, you can't stop your car too close to the car in front of you, because if something happens, you need to be able to get out. Like, you always have to watch, always have to put your handbag or your phone or everything out of sight, because, you know, the day that we got robbed in Johannesburg, when they, like, stole my phone.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was, like, fucking hectic. Oh boy, that was scary. But yeah, this guy came to the window and he's like knocking on my door, and on my window, I mean, and everything's locked, the windows are up. That's always how you had to do it, and you can't afford AC in your car, so you just like sweat boxing in there, if that's a word. You're just like fucking dying in there. And this guy's knocking my window and he's showing 222, and I just got my old phone and I got my new phone, so I'm transferring numbers and I'm like, you know, going back and forth between two phones. He's showing 222, he's knocking, showing me 2, and I'm thinking he's asking for 2 rand, and I literally had like 150 on my name, man. I didn't have money, but I was like, I'll give this guy my last 1 rand 50. I'll get it out of my bag and I'll give it to him. Next moment, I just heard pow, like an explosion, and I'm like, what the fuck, right? So I grabbed my one phone. I don't know what happened to the other one, but I grabbed my one phone and I jumped to the driver's seat. My sister was driving. I jumped to her side, and I'm like, I'm dead. I'm shot. I'm obviously been shot. That's it. I'm dying now. And guy grabs the phone, and we had the guys in the car in front of us. It was just the girls in the back. The guys were in the car in front of us. Colored guy in a BMW next to us, he sees the whole thing. He jumps out of his car. He starts shooting. Guys in front jump out of their car. They start shooting. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? So yeah, you always had to be alert. You don't want to, like, you know, have something like that happen to you. And my dad was at the time working on a farm, and we were always like stressed. Like, he didn't stay on the farm, you know, he lived in Clarksop and he worked on the farm like in the day, but I mean, they do it in the day. It's not like they only wait for nighttime. So we were always like super stressed, like having my dad out on the farm, because they do these things on farms. They kill farmers. So
yeah, well, and you had told me, I remember one time when after we had started talking, you had gotten lost with a friend of yours.
Oh, shit. Yeah, with
Y'all,
Elise.
y'all ended up in Johannesburg.
Oh boy, that was stressful too. She made some kind of weird turn and was stuck like in between like taxis, and I'm pretty sure nothing would have happened, but they just like stare at you and you're just scared. You're just scared all the time.
Well, it was like when we were coming back from Kruger National Park, when you and I,
yeah.
and we got stuck at that construction site. It was the middle
my
of the night.
God, that was
and
scary.
you were freaking out. Like, I remember that, because like you were, it was pretty intense, because we're sitting there and these guys get out, and some of these guys were black as night, like literally.
Yeah.
And they just blended in with the darkness around us. There were no street lights. There was nothing. We're out in the middle of nowhere. And I remember there was a guy that got out and he walked up next to the car, but he didn't look at us, but he just kept walking. And then he stood next to a rock. There was that big boulder, and he kind of leaned up against it, and then he backed up. And you couldn't see him anymore. And it was like, what the fuck's this dude doing? That's when I pulled my knife out, and I was like, all right, like, we gotta go. Like, there's only 8 of them, so I'm gonna get one, though.
Yeah, and your logic will tell you they're not going to do it. Your logic tells you. I mean, I'm shaking. I'm like in a state like my heart's pounding like a motherfucker. But logic will tell you they're not going to do anything, because where are they going to go? We're all stuck.
Right.
We can't move.
Right.
They can't take the car. They can't go anywhere. So logic tells you nothing is going to happen, but at the same time, you're just a scared shit.
But it was freaky. It's
fucking
creepy
scary,
as fuck.
yeah.
And I mean, I had 3 run-ins when I was in South Africa, where I pulled my knife a couple of times.
Yeah.
Like, was like, no, I'm not playing this game.
Yeah.
You know, and the first guy, I kind of felt bad for him, because he was
Oh, shame that guy.
he was basically like just this regular homeless guy. But Beatrix had told me, like, straight out, like, don't fuck with these people. And I was just like, okay. And I was walking to the pizza joint. What is it called? Mimo's. That's where I met what's his name? Quentin. And so it was actually that same day. But I was and this guy like approached me. He was asking for money, and I was just like, and he's talking about his wife and his kids, and you know, like here in America, where if I have like some cash on me and a homeless person approaches my vehicle or they approach me, yeah, I'll probably hand them a couple of bucks. But my first instinct with this guy was just to pull my knife. Like, I'm like, I don't know you. I don't know where I'm at. Like, fuck this, you know? So, yeah, no, it can be a little intense, you know? And you don't know who the enemy is. Like,
yeah, and that's another thing. It's not just white people that feel scared and afraid. It's black people too, because they're also being attacked. It's not like it's just white people. Black people are like they robbing everyone. I mean, they're robbing everyone. They're killing everyone.
Right. Well, and this has affected some of your personal relationships.
Like who? What? Who?
Yeah. There was the attorney that you used to work for.
Oh, they got shot?
No.
Oh.
I'm talking about how they've like they've turned against white people.
Oh,
even if they're the most peaceful. Yeah. Even if they're the most peaceful of people, they turn against you because you were the wrong race.
Yeah.
And it has this like complete negative effect.
Yeah, when we like talk in person, we like besties. Like, oh my goodness, we just can't love each other more. Like, you know, we'll sit behind closed doors and like gossip about all the girls in the office, you know. And then you get on his Facebook page and it's like all like white people suck. I hate them and they should be done with. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, we're friends. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Which white people? Which
Yeah.
one? Who did it?
Am I the white people?
Yeah, who did it? Tell me, I'll get them. What white people?
Yeah, and it also happened with what's her name as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah,
I had to unfriend
like,
that too. I just couldn't
you're,
handle
like,
it
really
anymore.
good friends with these people
Yeah.
for a long time, and then all of a sudden they start shifting, you know, into these radical stances and these race radical stances. I mean, and it's had this really negative effect on humanity. But beyond the way it's affected the culture, like I remember when you and I were talking and you told me, oh, I make 16,000 Rand a month. I'm like, this bitch is rich. Holy shit, if I made $16,000 a month, I'd be well off.
No shit.
Right?
Yeah.
So now you got this economic problem because 16,000 rand a month is the equivalent of what was it, coming out to $1,100 every month? Is that what it was coming
No,
out?
1,100 is still a lot. What are you talking about?
No, it was like 1,100. It was like $1,100. It was like 13 rand for every dollar or something like that.
I don't think it was ever 13 rand when before apartheid ended. It was like $7 all the time.
No,
steady.
I'm talking about when you first moved here.
Oh, baby, I don't know. I don't remember.
I think it was like $1,100 every month that you were.
Oh
making.
yeah, you are right because it says here $1,122.38
Yeah.
to 16,000.
Okay. Yeah, and then we had to pay the transfer fee, which was like $29 or something like
was
that.
a lot, yeah.
Yeah. So financially, how is the financial situation when you're making 16,000 rand per month? How is your living standard?
I mean, I didn't like go hungry or anything, but gas still is insane.
Isn't it more there than it is here?
Oh shit, yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
charge per liter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't they charge per gallon here too?
they charge per gallon.
Oh, per
here.
gallon, because a gallon is a lot more though. But I mean,
Yeah.
it comes out to the same thing, doesn't matter.
No, I
charge
think
per
I think
amount.
Yeah, but I think it comes out to like where they're charging like $5 a liter as opposed to like
No,
here
it's
it
way
being
more
like-
than $5. Oh,
Or-
I mean 5 rand. Oh,
no, I
it's-
said $5.
Oh, I don't know.
I think it's like $5 a liter there, where it's like $2.34
Yes,
a
yes,
gallon
yes,
here.
yes.
Like something
Yes.
like that. It's some fucking insane
Yes.
like difference.
Yeah.
And your electric.
I was just-
and y'all
yeah.
had y'all had the rolling brownouts as well.
Yeah, I was getting to the electric. The electric was insane.
We'll talk about that when we go to the bathroom.
Oh, what was I supposed to say? Levola?
Talk about the electric.
Oh, it's just very expensive, guys. It's just very expensive. Like, I mean.
And the brownouts.
Oh, I don't know what a brownout is.
When they just shut your.
Oh shit! Yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, like electricity is like super expensive, like insane, and there's only one company that provides electricity, so you're being held hostage basically by this company, and you just have to pay what they want you to pay because you don't have another option. So yeah, I mean it's just insane. It's very expensive, and then they have, because they didn't really prepare for the country growing and people needing more electricity, so they never built like any new electrical stations. I don't know where the electricity comes from. So they would do, and he said brownouts. It's not brownouts. What is it called? Oh fuck! But anyway, they shut down your electricity. Like you'll have electricity Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then Thursday you won't. And they'll like section it. Like they'll let you know, okay, guys, Wednesday you'll have no electricity, and then there'll be no power whatsoever. You sit there in the darkness. It's not called brownout. What is it?
Well,
called?
that's what we call it here. We call them brownouts. I
Oh,
don't
is
know what
that
they
it?
call it there.
Oh, load shedding. Load
Oh,
shedding.
okay.
Yeah, because there isn't enough to go around, so they'll like let these people have electricity for like a few days, and then shut you down for a few days, and then have those
Right,
people.
I've heard the term before.
Yeah, load shedding. Yeah, so we have that, and we only have ESCOM, so you have to pay what they tell you to pay. You
Well,
have to
right.
pay.
I mean, yeah, I absolutely have a
Yeah.
monopoly on it. Now, like, whenever you get into that, like, just real quick, when you get into the monopoly on the electric companies and setting the prices, where does who's running these electric companies, and where do these prices come from?
Who's running it?
Yeah. Are
The
these
government.
Are these private organizations?
No.
They're not.
It's the government,
They're
yeah.
government-run
Yeah.
organizations. So
And they get-
it's basically socialism.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it
like
is.
straight.
Yeah.
The government's running the means of production.
Yeah.
Right. And is this every arena
And
or just
I don't
public
wanna, I don't want to
works?
be incorrect though. Like who owns ESCOM? I don't want to be incorrect here. I mean, I don't want to like say things and people in South Africa are like, what the hell is this chick talking about?
Who's setting the prices? Does the government come up with the prices, or is this?
Oh yeah, I'm right. Owned by the South African government. Damn, I'm good.
Yeah.
I know shit.
Yeah. So are they setting the prices, or
Yeah.
So it's not set by supply and demand at all. There's no.
No.
Yeah.
They said it, and the CEOs and
Now,
you
was
know,
it always like this? Was it
No,
always like
no.
okay? So prior to the end of apartheid, during apartheid, were there competitions in this market?
Oh no.
So it was always just one.
It was always just one, but it was fairly priced.
Oh, okay.
It was decently priced. Same with gas,
Okay.
You could afford to go on holiday and all that shit. Now you can't even go because half your salary is going to go for your fucking petrol to get to where you want to go.
Okay, so is every major corporation, every major structure set up in this way there? Like the mine that your dad worked for, was it owned by the government or was it privately owned?
Oh, that you worked for a few. I know some of them were like not owned by. It was like international. It was some international company, some international mining company. Cyril Ramaphosa, I don't remember for which one he worked. I think that was an international one too. My dad loved that guy. They were like,
oh, I know. Yeah, no, absolutely. He's taken up for him.
Monster.
He's taken up for some of the things he said, and he says that he thinks he's only saying these things just to continue. Now that he's reelected, though, he did win the reelection. Now that he's reelected, I guess you get to really see his true colors. Because your dad said he thought he was going to change his tune once he got reelected.
Yeah, but he hasn't.
Oh, he hasn't. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I was not aware of that. I haven't been keeping up with politics in South Africa recently, which I usually do try to look every once in a while.
It's probably not good, but I don't because it's just too upsetting. I don't like to be upset.
Okay, so what do you think the South African? Here's something that you may. Well, we still have some stuff to delete. Remember, I fought with that for like an hour. Okay. So what do you? There's a new party in South Africa, all right,
Oh, the one you told me about.
Yes, yeah, and it's a capitalist party, and that's what they in there. I think it's like the purple rhino. I think is their logo.
That's nice.
Yeah, something like that. I'd have to look it up. Okay, so these guys run a podcast. They're free marketers. They're free market libertarians in South Africa.
Really?
Yeah, and they started their own political party. Given the history that you know of South Africa's politics, what chance do these guys have of making any noise whatsoever?
Oh, I don't want to say it, but people in South Africa kind of have like an issue with coming together. Like they have an issue with standing together.
I don't think standing together is necessarily the problem.
Kinda is.
Well, do they have what is the standard of independence mentality in South Africa for South Africa?
Well, not very good because like we've discussed like how many times we are used to the government controlling your entire life. Right. It's not like it was in America where it was like independent. It's always had government. It's always like been like in your face all the time, everywhere. We don't know any different. Everyone in South Africa looks to the government to help them. That's what I'm saying when I say standing together. They're not going to do anything by themselves. They're not going to take matters into their own hands. They're going to be like, let's just wait for the next government to help us. That's just the way it is.
Well, I don't think that's what your history reflects because they didn't do that under apartheid.
Yeah. What?
They didn't do that under apartheid. The ANC came up into power by standing up and fighting, right?
Okay, but now you get like I said earlier, white people aren't the only people who are being affected by all this violence. Black people are too.
Right.
But
absolutely.
Like Madam, you know what I'm talking about. She would rather over and over and over and over, and a lot of people have that mentality, vote for the ANC because they're too scared that apartheid will come back. It is literally fucking impossible.
And that's like asking Jim Crow to come back to America.
Don't know what that means.
Segregation, basically.
Oh.
They called them Jim Crow laws. They were Jim Crow laws.
Oh.
So it would be basically like asking segregation to come back into America during the 1980s.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it wasn't going to happen.
No,
maybe
literally never.
Maybe nothing is. Maybe the entire culture isn't healed, but that part of the history is over. We're not going to repeat that, right? So, what do you see any peaceful resolution to this?
I don't know. I literally don't know. I hope so. I mean, I literally hope this country, because it's a fucking great country. It's amazing. Everything that's amazing about that country is like super duper amazing. It's not average. It is fucking amazing. The the way the country looks, the nature, the animals, the people. I mean, the people are just fucking phenomenal. It's super friendly. The cultures, all the different melting pot of cultures, the landscape, all our beautiful animals. It is an amazing place to like grow up in and be in and go see and experience. Not everyone is violent. There's a lot of good in that country, but for some reason it just can't fucking get together, and it just can't like be peaceful for some reason, and I just don't know why, and I don't know how that's gonna stop.
So with you have countries like Australia and Canada and Russia have offered asylum to white farmers.
Yeah.
And we saw what happened with Rhodesia when it turned to Zimbabwe.
Oh, Lord.
They killed or ran out every white farmer.
And now they're asking them to come back.
And now they're begging them to come back. Exactly. What do you think? Do you think that the expulsion of the white farmer will have a similar effect on South Africa, or do you think that the country itself will be able to withstand the agricultural blows that come if if the all the white farmers do secede from South Africa, whether they go to Russia or Canada or Orania for that matter?
It will not be good, because now we're going to have to import all our food. So now the food is going to be even more expensive. It's already expensive.
Right.
Now it's going to be more expensive.
Right.
It will not be good at all.
Yeah, I mean, those hamburgers are like $80.
Yeah.
Nobody else is going to know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah. I mean, it's not going to be good. It's never good when farmers leave a country.
Right.
Because you have to feed your nation.
Well, right. Agriculture is
Yeah.
like
The backbone
a mainstay
of
every country,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But okay, so what role do you think Orania is going to play in all this?
Oh my goodness.
Do you think this is going to be actually a long-term
I don't
thing,
know.
or do you think the South African government's eventually going to shut them down?
I don't think they will. But again, when everyone can just go there and just do their own thing and make it better, maybe the black people just don't, some, not all, just don't want us there, and it'll just be better for everyone to part ways, I guess. You know, like in a bad relationship, just part ways.
Well, and that's what I say
Yeah.
about America. Like
Yeah.
you're not gonna cure this rift between what progressives want and what conservatives want, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So sometimes it's better to get a divorce.
Just
right.
get it over and done with, yeah.
And do it peacefully and just say, you know
and
what,
I mean, yeah.
like we can't do this
And I mean, we
anymore.
are the minority. I mean, we can like do the Orania thing, and they can be happy on their own, and we can be happy on our own. I don't know, but lucky I don't stay there anymore, because then I'll miss my friends.
Right.
I'll miss my friends. Like I miss my friends today. So imagine when I had to separate from them in my own country. That would be devastating.
Yeah, I mean, knowing that, I mean, at least now you
Yeah.
can still talk to them and
Yeah. Well, I'll still be able to talk to them, but I mean, now I have no choice. I'm 9,000 miles away.
Well, then you wouldn't have a choice. You would have been forced into exclusion away from them. You probably wouldn't be able to talk to them. You'd probably be forced into...
No, they're not gonna like force you to like not speak to people.
You don't know this.
I do know this.
You weren't allowed to hang out with these people during apartheid?
I was allowed.
During apartheid, you were hanging out with these people?
Well, I didn't know they almost like...
You didn't know they existed?
They weren't in my neighborhood. Of course
Right.
I didn't hang out with them.
Right.
You know, when everything ended, I got like, I mean, I had so many Muslim friends, people thought I was Muslim.
Yeah.
You know? They thought I was Muslim. It's a very light-skinned Muslim. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay. So I want to finish it up here. I want you to talk about the contrast between living in America and living in South Africa.
Pre or post-apartheid?
No, like the day
when I
before
left,
you moved.
when I left until I came here, I
Right.
knew that question. I was just playing. I was trying to use
Yeah,
fancy words.
Okay, so in 1981, when you were 1 year old.
Okay. Well, the thing that I love about America is the fact that I can sit in my backyard and not stress, because like when I would like go outside, I was like, oh my God, it's 9 o'clock, it's dark, like go inside. I don't have to worry about that now anymore. I sit out here, and it's not like that in every single city or neighborhood or part of America, but for me personally, I can sit in my backyard, earphones in my ears, and no one's going to come murder me. Well, I hope, but I mean, it's not a constant fear.
Right.
It's not something that I'm worried about all the time. When I used to sit outside and grill in South Africa on a Friday night or Saturday night, I would listen the entire time. If something is happening, is someone like here, is someone like moving, is something going on. I drive. Oh, I love this spot. I've gone really like wild. Like I'll go to like the post office and I'll leave my door unlocked, on my car. I love that. I just do it so I can like it. I don't even like. I just like it. I'm like, oh, look at me! I left my door unlocked. You can never do that.
Such a rebel.
Yeah, like I'm like that's something that I enjoy doing. And I can go to the store and I don't have to worry about like something is going to happen to me. I can drive up and down all night long, and I'm not locking my doors. I'm not having my window up, and I'm not looking around when I'm driving. I feel, pardon my word, free. Freer. Yeah.
Absolutely liberated in some sense.
Yeah. From what
the violence
what I used to experience.
Right.
I'm a girl. I mean, a lot of people might not have the same experience as me, but I'm a very like paranoid, scared person. So I was very paranoid and very scared all the time.
Well, and okay, so like there's this whole thing that you'll hear women talk about in America about how it's a rape culture, and I always think about you because I'm like y'all have no idea what it's like to be scared like every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah, maybe there's a possibility, right?
Yeah.
And they say that like single women try not to get like ground floor apartments because they don't want to make it easier on rapists and this and yeah, okay, maybe there's a possibility, right? But it's not an epidemic, right? Whereas in South Africa, that's an epidemic. It's like I think the last time I looked, it was number 1 in rape statistics. It might be at number 2 now, but it was at number 1 in rape statistics especially as far as Western style countries, and that's another thing I was misunderstood was South Africa for the most part has a Western style like culture as far as it's very capitalist friendly when you get outside of like public works, right? So you have your fast food restaurants, you have different car washes, your basic services and daily occurrences is pretty much done on a voluntary basis. You have multiple supermarkets, yada yada yada. So the idea that the government owns the public works and that is the most expensive form of your life should like be revealing to a lot of people, right? But people don't see that when people leave, like people in America don't see that there are benefits to being in America. Like even I fall guilty at times where I'm like bitching, moaning, and groaning about the way things are done. Yeah. It's because like, I mean, I have you to give me perspective at times, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, but it's not supposed to be this way. Like,
yeah. But I would take this over what's going on over there any time of the day.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, if there's like last like thoughts about this podcast?
No, I'm just like kind of glad we did this, and now I'm gonna cry. I'm kind of glad.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I did.
You did? Yeah. You happy with it? I got a little editing to do.
I'm probably not gonna like my stupid accent.
Well, you don't have to listen to it.
Aren't you gonna edit this?
I'm gonna edit a little bit, but not much.
Yeah, but no, I would like for the country to heal because it's beautiful to be there. The people are beautiful. Everything is beautiful about it. Like everything is beautiful about it. It's just, I just hope they can come together and just stop this bullshit because it's extremely unnecessary.
Right. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
We made it.
We did.
You didn't die.
I didn't.
All right. I'm Tommy Salmons.
I'm Beatrix. I'm Beatrix.
That was my wife Beatrix with her lovely accent that she hates so much.
Oh, I hate it.
Oh. Late.
lied, we cheated, we stole. We had entire training courses. It reminds you of the glory of the American experiment. You take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday of getting back at you. I was the CIA director. We lied, we cheated, we stole. We had entire training courses. It reminds you of the glory of the American experiment.